Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to today's Q&A session, sponsored by 38 Digital Market Press Releases. The link is below. Mr. Randy Roday's service, top-notch service. Do check it out. And whilst we're getting all the promotion out the way, digitalunfiltered.com. It's in just under 3 weeks' time. Caesars Palace, Vegas. Still a whole bunch of tickets available. We do have the capacity to take up to 2,500. So I don't think we're going to get quite 2,500, but you never know. You never know. So grab your tickets while you can and take advantage of the amazing lineup we have there. So check that out, digitalunfiltered.com. You'll see it scrolling along the bottom of the screen. We do have Honey here. I'm good. Chris is good. He's busy, but good.
That's right.
Hand pink waving. There's mine's waving back. Maeve is here. Holly Starks is here. How's the back, Holly? Holly had a problematic back recently, I've seen on Facebook. Darren Muzzy is here as well. Some of the old faces are coming back. Wait 2 seconds, guys, to grab a quick drink. But yeah, we're here to answer your questions. So put your questions in the chat.
You always have it so rough, Craig.
Well,
wait a minute. Let me grab a drink here. Oh, man. I just want to be like Craig one day. Hi, everyone. By the way, I'm Chris, digitalunfiltered.com. We're not going to quite hit 2,500 people. That's an understatement. Not quite. Yeah, not quite. Little Chris snapped my glasses the other day, so that was fun. During a wrestling match. Crunch!
You said it was the Gucci ones, right?
Yeah, I got a new pair. But it's all good.
That should come out of little Chris's piggy bank.
I got these ones this time. They were on sale. I figured, why not? I don't like it. I don't want it to look like I went out of my way, but dude, I'm not for $100 savings. I'll take it. Yeah.
And business growth ready? No, I'm literally on the border. So still in Scotland. However, yeah, it's not quite England, I'm glad to say.
Stormy.
What was that?
Looks like there's a storm or something going on.
Yeah, it's not the best day. It's pretty shitty, but come away for another break before the
nice
guy
spot.
goes to school.
Looks like a nice spot.
That's nice. There's a hot tub and all that out there. So yeah, can't complain.
Fair enough. Yeah, I'm taking the little guy and Kells we're just going to a place called Wildwood this weekend.
Nice.
Yeah, I need a little break. 4 days.
I've got
need a break.
4 days. I came here today and I'm here until Sunday. So a 4-day break just to try and recharge before I've got all this fucking crazy. I've got Estonia and then Vegas. So yeah, as of the 14th of August, I'm on the road for 2 weeks. So yeah, got to rest up while I can. But Mohammed is here. You're my best friend, he says. Top man.
Awesome.
Best friend. Holly has an MRI on Friday. I'll be at Vegas looking at bringing up a blow-up couch so I can lay flat. LOL. Holly, I had a dodgy back for a while there, and yeah, not much fun. Had some geezer cranking a lot of work into it, like osteopathy type guy doing funny things to my back. So, yeah, it's not good. But fingers crossed you get sorted. A blow-up couch, though, Holly? Come
We got
on,
enough
man.
room. We got room for it.
Yeah.
I'll make make an exception for Holly.
Yeah, you could even do your talk lying down.
Yeah, it's easy. Kick your feet up. I'm cool with
it. Excellence is here. Good to see you, Excellence. Who says, hi, Craig. Hi, Chris.
Hello.
But give us some questions, folks. Throw whatever questions you want at us, and we will do our best to answer them. We don't always know the answers, but hey. Ali Javid has got a kind of a question, Chris. Please share some tips for technical SEO. So, any little technical
I have a juicy little tidbit that I just ran into. One of the problems that was driving me completely insane was grabbing all of the information from Search Console and trying to figure out which pages are competing with each other based on keywords. And like, I don't know of any tools that can do that, that'll go and grab, hey, which ones are cannibalizing each other? Which ones are fighting each other, right? Do you know any tools that spit that information out, Craig, actually? Because maybe it's not as clever as I thought it was.
No, I don't know any tools that do that.
Right, exactly. But you usually go into Search Console and you do page by page, and you're looking for the deficits, like based on keyword anyway, or keywords that are fighting with one another. Well, somebody put me on to a tool called Gspread, right? And that, along with a very small line of code, allows you to take the download from Search Console, bring it in, and then any keywords that are going against each other, or ranking, any pages that are ranking for the same keywords, it'll line them up. It'll tell you the clicks and the impressions. Only the pages that are going against each other. How tight is that? So Gspread plus you have to go and get an API for requests, request API access, Gspread, and of course your Search Console API. Once you have those and a line of code about that big on a page, dude, works wonders. So that's one piece of information. The next piece of information for technical, I think Screaming Frog lays a lot of stuff out, but if you want it a little prettier, I like Sipal. But I run into little issues all the time. Also, these AMP pages are a pain in the bananas. So, anything else? No, that's about it.
There you
that's
go.
Just recent.
There you go.
There you go. That's what's fresh.
Honey says, one of my clients have thousands of backlinks from directories, spammy, at keyword anchor tag. By changing client's website URL, can we reduce the impact of toxic backlinks or disavow the link? So would you go to the trouble of changing the URL, Chris, because of some shitty links? Or do you disavow, or do you feel that Google just ignore them anyway?
I think that last answer pretty much would point to the more likely of something I would do. You know, I don't think that backlinks are bad until Google says they're bad. Like, just because a tool, or you're looking and you're like, oh my gosh, this is spammy. But did you get an action? Was there any type of issue? Have you noticed a decrease in rankings? Are you losing on keywords? How's that anchor text? How well is he doing for that keyword? Probably good, right? I don't know. You probably have to go take a look. But as far as would I change a URL? Yes, but those links still exist. But at least they're not pointing directly to the website. So hopefully that answers it. Probably just leave them because they're not even being counted.
Yeah, just remember, honey, a lot of that shit is ignored, especially the spammy directory crap. Google are well aware of and basically just discount. So, yeah, if it makes you feel better, disavow that crap. But I wouldn't really want to be changing you client websites URL unless I had to, unless my hand was forced. But Maeve has a question. So following on from yesterday, so Maeve, to give you the picture, Chris, Maeve was bidding for an expired domain at an auction, or an auction domain. What had happened was that she found out that 3 months ago, prior to expiring, someone had forwarded that domain name to another URL. And she was then questioning whether the link equity in that domain name would be gone after 3 months. So would you take a punt on it? Because what she's saying here, the original owner redirected the domain name, it then dropped, and then 3 months later, it's in an auction. Does it have any value? So it has been redirected previously. Would you bid on it?
I personally wouldn't. I mean, is there still value there? Maybe. But that's the type of thing you don't generally... I wouldn't personally want that. No. That'd be a hard pass. There's so many other opportunities. I mean, unless it's like a really good name or something, but probably the chances of that are probably low. All the really good names are gone. But man, if it's already been redirected, I wouldn't want anything to do with that. I'd want those links already still sitting.
Yeah.
Why? What was your recommendation?
I don't even know if I did give a recommendation, but I would certainly be more along the lines of what you say. If someone sucked the life out of it, it's like asking me if I want a fucking orange that, you know, bloody elephants had its hands on and sucked all the juice out of it, and you know, I get the, you know, the old rags that are left. Do I want that? I would rather have a, you know, a fresh orange that's there. Then I know what I want, and it's certainly not the one that someone has literally chewed up and spat out and took it for everything that was left in it. And you know, it's hard to say how much equity, if any, would be left in that after 3 months. No one knows the true answer to that. But you know, the way I look at it is, if we think of the link juice, it is like having some animal have that orange before you and sucked it to death, and then, you know, you're chewing on the bloody skin or something. I'm sure there's a bit of goodness there, but yeah, I'd be roaming around looking for something else. So
it's something I found too with those redirects. It could have been the sites I was grabbing because I was looking at the bottom of the barrel, just stuff that had high referring domains. But we quickly realized that when you're doing those 301s or letting those domains sit, most notably with the 301, it seems like because in order for it to count, that means Google has to come and recrawl. I'd always noticed that you lose almost half. You lose a lot of that power. So like, they already redirected it, plus they lost all that equity. I would go and take a look at that site that it was redirected on. How much actually passed? Like, take a look at the domain, take a look at that in Ahrefs or SEMrush, look at the referring domain count, go look at the one that was being referred to, and go and look how many actually passed. Probably half. Then what are you going to get? A crumb. There's so many opportunities out there. You'll find another one, Maeve. Don't worry.
You will. Business Growth Ready is telling Holly to try out an inversion table.
Oh, those are good. I can never lay back. I'm always like scared, like, whoa. And I can never let it go, man. I can't do it. Business Growth Ready. Me personally. I don't know about Holly. I'm always terrified.
TG, good to see you, mates. No problem. Ali Javid. TG wants to know if you've done any interesting SEO tests recently, Chris.
Yeah, I mean, I'm primarily focused on CTR stuff and getting some traffic stuff ready for the conference. I'm primarily looking at, like, right now, it's like, does the actual dwell time matter? And where does that dwell time break? Like, does 2 minutes on site, is that better than 5 minutes? The other piece I'm looking at is once we actually generate a click to a site, generally you'll set to go to one more page. Well, what if you visit 5 other pages and then end? Does that have a different effect? So I think those are two. Just looking at traffic really lately. That's all I really care about. Traffic clicks. Google's getting so sweet right now. They are so sweet. They are so sweet right now. Like, yeah, like all the content stuff and all the little tricks with on page. Yeah, that stuff, still works, but not like clicks. Clicks and traffic are definitely showing way more benefit than they used to.
Yeah.
And you could have crap too. Like crap bots are working. So, but
seriously, what do you call a crap bot? Like Epic shit like that?
Yeah, $30 bot, a $35 bot. Like, yeah, you have the opportunity to set all the settings.
Yeah,
and then as long as you have a really clean IP range, then works very effectively. Yeah, I think that's a crap bot. I'm determining crap bot by price.
Yeah.
Like that would be considered crap. Like an awesome would be crap in most people's eyes because of the price point.
Yeah.
It works great. So, oh well.
Cool. Nigel Griffiths. If you buy a guest post from a domain, a guest post link from a domain, is it worth buying another one from the same domain at a later stage to a different page on that website?
So if I could get that second one cheaper and I could get it on another page going to another page, then yes, if it's cheaper. If I'm getting the same link on the same site on the same page now, but if I'm getting a link on site A and I'm on page 1 and page 2 and I'm sending it to my site on page 1 and page 2, then there's still benefit. But ideally, I only want one referring domain from one website.
Yeah. I think it won't do you any harm, but I think the referring domain is something you want to build upon. So if there was something similar, so here I'm going to rephrase your question, Nigel. So if there was something of similar metrics, similar traffic value, similar age, and everything else, and it was in a different domain, or you could get that one, Chris, I'm assuming all day long you're going for the other one.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So hopefully that answers the question, Nigel. But if the opportunity's there and it's on a different page and the cost is right, power that shit up.
Yeah.
Holly was on a table. It went terrible. Too much pressure on my spine and disc. I only tolerate 6 of the 15 minutes I needed to. So, Chris, you can use your hands, massage Holly, and loosen off that back.
I could.
Because I hear you're good at that kind of thing. So,
I a long time ago, I went to a school, and I was doing phlebotomy, and I was like, oh man, I don't like these needles, because we quickly went through the program, and you had to do 150 sticks, and I'm like, oh man, I ain't doing this, so I switched to medical billing. Anyway, when we were there, they also did massage therapy, and the gentlemen and the ladies had to get hours. So I used to always be like, oh, me. So I did learn a lot from those ladies and those and men too. Yes. Yeah. Just a quick tidbit about Chris. That's going to be in a freaking short.
By the way, I don't pick out the shots. My video editor does. So.
Oh, okay, cool.
Be careful what you say. He's looking for any opportunity. But Jasmine is saying or asking if providing 161,000 organic traffic in 4 months from scratch, is that good enough?
Is providing 16,000 organic traffic in 4 months, is that good?
161,000, that is.
Yeah, I mean, so you took a site starting at 0 and got to 161,000 in organic traffic. That's what they're asking. Is that good?
In 4 months. Yeah.
Yeah. Do you want a job? Yeah, that's great. But I mean, for what though?
Yeah.
You know,
what does that turn into in terms of cold hard cash? Is the main thing, because it could be 161,000 tire kickers that don't turn into money. So the type of keywords you rank for is obviously an important thing. But in general, that's really fucking good. But
and if that's AdSense, what would that be? About $160? Depending on the niche.
Yeah.
$160.
Yeah. AdSense is not the most lucrative way to monetize your website, guys. So a question, Chris, from our Sol. Digitalunfiltered.com, guys. Event looks good. Who's Victoria? I think I know the rest of the speakers. So, Chris, who's Victoria?
That was a recommendation from you.
Yes.
I don't personally know her, but Craig said she's great. So I said, all right. So she's great. Let's hear her.
Well, I have seen Victoria several times at Mastermind Mansion out in the US, and she works with a lot of lawyers and stuff like that, and she is super solid. And we want to not only have the same famous old faces kicking around, we do want to give other people the opportunity who are less known, because some of these guys that are not on stage do some great work. You know, I remember years ago, I went to NFG Rockstars. It was in 2019, and there was a chap in the crowd who goes by the name of Lee Witcher. He was just in the crowd, and you know, we met at the bar and had good conversation. I'm like, wow, this fucking guy in the crowd's doing some good shit. And look at Lee now. You know, he's on the SEO Fight Club. He's all over the place. So Lee is a super solid guy. So yeah, people have to start somewhere, and I think we've given some people that are not particularly well known in the industry an opportunity to showcase what they've got. So Victoria isn't you know, an experienced, established speaker across the board, but very smart lady who I was impressed with in the conversations that I've had with her. So yeah, she's super solid, and look forward to seeing what she's got to say. And if anyone is going, right, I want a ticket, digitalunfiltered.com across the bottom there, guys. We've got to plug the hell out of it because it's in just under 3 weeks' time. Vegas, 22nd to the 24th of August. You can see all the speakers and everything else that is there. And Maeve, yeah, that is my thoughts. I went to 150, so that was that domain name that had been redirected, but it went for 1,875 in the end, which
somebody was obviously right.
A rookie not doing the research that's bid that. So
that was me. That was me many years ago. I made that mistake.
So how much time will it take to see an impact after disavowing links? Keyword ranking is almost zero of that client website. So how quick an impact does a disavow have?
Man, I think that's interesting because in some instances, I've done the disavow file, but I'm also doing other work. And I've seen changes very rapidly. Other times, it's like nothing even happened. So I know that it's also, what else are you doing? Right? Like, are you cleaning up those pages? Are you doing anything else on the site? So, and then what are you going to be building in order to replace that? So, yeah, hopefully you're building higher quality category specific links and then cleaning up whatever you have on your website, like those old pages.
Because if you're disavowing, honey, even though these are spammy, shitty links, they might still be passing enough power to get some form of rankings and traffic. Obviously, they're not at the moment, but what Chris said there. I just need to reiterate: replace the shit with the good stuff, and you should see an upwards trajectory. That's really important, because disavowing all the stuff that your website has, you're likely to see stuff going backwards if there's not anything else there in place.
Absolutely. So that's why I love SEMrush, but don't follow that. Don't follow that recommendation blindly and grab, these are toxic. Grab the list and go and put it into GSC.
Well, I tell that to people all the time. Like, why do SEMrush say a link is toxic? So it can be using, a keyword in the anchor. It flags it as toxic. There's a whole range of different things, but even just having a keyword in the anchor text, they're automatically saying it's toxic. So be careful what you disavow as well. Do some research on it. If you feel it's passing AS, any AS, which is authority score in SEMrush, I wouldn't be too quick in pulling it. I would be pulling stuff that passes little to no value, of course, but some of the other stuff I would be looking at replacing before disavowing. You don't have to do it all at one time. So bear that in mind, honey. Darren is giving out the old chiropractic therapy and ice worked for him. Once the MRI results get in, have a better picture. Takes time for ligaments, tendons, and nerves to heal. Hope it gets better fast, because Darren and Holly are going to be dancing for my TikTok out in Vegas. It'll get worked out. Have to go through the steps for insurance. Is anyone talking about AI at the conference? What are the topics? So I'm not sure anyone's actually going all in AI. Let me just check.
Not all in on AI. No.
Let me just have a quick. Have you got the file in front of you, Chris?
I was just taking a look to see what Liz added, to see if anyone put in anything special other than, hey, we're going to talk about this. Like, I was looking for AI is what I'm looking for.
Yeah, I don't think so, Holly. I don't think anyone's talking about AI. No.
Nah.
What are the topics? You can talk about whatever the hell you like, Holly. We have. Can you rhyme off some of the topics that are on there, Chris, that some of the lads are talking about?
Affiliate testing, how to build an agency. I assume Holly is going to be AI, how the list was built, technical SEO, CTR, traffic. I mean, all the regular goodies. There's not like any special write-ups, We didn't do that. Maybe we should have. Like made it sound like really cool. No, CTR, traffic, AI, on page, off page. Just kept it very basic. Next time, maybe I'll have to put a spin on it. Oh, well.
And Holly says, Victoria's a great speaker. Upcoming talent for sure. She is that. That is the best way to see it. So super solid person for anyone who wants to know who Victoria is. LinkedIn user is saying that he's seeing exact match domain names still working in super competitive keywords. Question. Do you see that, Chris?
I don't know what you're thinking is hyper competitive, but in local markets, definitely. On Bing, for sure. But hyper competitive, like let's say, for instance, chainsaw.com. Do I think that you would be able to fight against Home Depot and Lowe's and Amazon? I don't think they're that good, but Chicago plumber, maybe, for sure.
Here's another thing to consider, Chris. Where does ChatGPT pull its content from?
ChatGPT, where what was the training data like specifically?
Yeah.
They give it up. If you go to Alvarex, they'll give up where they pulled that training data from.
Would you say Bing?
No. Alvarex, when they're testing, when they're doing the benchmark testing, it'll lay out. It'll tell you where that particular data set was pulled from. It was definitely trade on this set.
Or Bard. If you're going to use Bard, do you think Bard pulls information and data from Bing?
I think Bard is pulling it directly from Google.
You think they're pulling it from
itself.
Google?
From itself, yeah.
You think no Bing at all?
Do I think Bard is taking information from Bing?
Yeah.
Like their search engine and what's listed on the...
When they're looking for information, so if you put in fucking who is Craig Campbell SEO, for example, where do you think that data is being pulled from? Bing, Google, a mixture of both?
Well, Bard is pulling from Google and what's live on Google, in my opinion. That's what they say anyway.
So, I contrary to that, I have got people who firmly believe that data is pulled from Bing. Whether it's all, what percentage, I'm not here to debate that part. But my point being is, if you can get a keyword-rich domain name, rank it in Bing, and that is a source of information for AI, then it's a great way to feed AI. And I know a lot of people that are fucking around with that. So, yeah, can't say conclusively what percentage or how much or whatever, but yeah, maybe someone in the comments could give us more of an insight if you know the answer to that specifically. But Abuzar, how to rank old and authority website. How to rank an old authority website, Chris, I'm going to take that as.
Oh, how to outrank them?
Outrank them. Yeah.
I mean, there's, countless videos and countless information as far as the steps that are going to need to be taken in order to outrank. But as far as like a true authority site, they're there for a reason. Like a Lowe's or a Home Depot, these types of places. I personally would be very happy with position 3 or 4, or I would pick a different keyword set. That's me though. I wouldn't. Why would I want to spend all that money and all that time to go after those specific sets of keywords that are dominated by authority sites when there's all these other opportunities right here? I wouldn't. Why? The objective is to make dollars, not to spend time and spend money, right? So,
you make a good point. But can you outrank an old authority website? The answer is yes, Abuzar. But Chris has obviously argued the point about time and effort and money that would have to go in. It's not just about content and links. You've got EAT and all of the other shit that goes into helping outrank these websites. So there is a lot more than just throwing content and links at it. You're building up a brand and yeah, it's certainly no easy task. Let's just say that. Certainly not at the Home Depot level. These guys are monstrosities. So yeah.
Like people are looking for like beating some of those. Like people are going and searching for Home Depot tens of thousands of times every day. What's the chances that I would be able to outrank them for whatever? No. Why? I don't go after stuff like that. Do you, Craig?
No. Listen, I am in the websites that make me money. I'm not going to say they're in obscure niches by any means, but they're certainly not, gambling or something that's outrageously competitive. I try and pick and choose my battles, and again, if we relate it to real life, am I going to go in there and fight with someone like Mike Tyson? Nah, I'd rather pick in a small guy that fucking doesn't train much. Where I've got half a chance. So you have to know what battles you want to enter and try and choose wisely so that you don't look like a clown, so to speak. So, yeah. But Ursol, say you buy a website which hasn't had much content, what sort of budget would you set aside for guest posts? And what's the average price per guest post? Is that something we can even answer, Chris? Because it's obviously going to vary niche to niche, country to country, and so on and so forth. But just that kind of rough idea. Let's say you're starting out. I'll give you an example, right? So I need to do this. Something that covers a few different states in America. I don't want something that's super local. I want to cover a decent radius. And like he says, you bought the website. It hasn't got much content. What sort of budget would you set aside for guest posts? Now, is that even the right way to be looking at it? Would you say, nah, right, we're lacking content here. There's no point in doing a guest post at this price. At this point, let's spend the budget on content first. But if you did want to, try and capture a bigger radius than local, what sort of money minimum would you be spending in guest posts?
On a monthly basis, you're going to probably need this, and then you would need this, and then I would need at least this. So what's that come to? So if I was going to start hitting every single state, and then of course we're going to do cities, but at state level, it would cost you plus this, I would be looking at $580 a page. $580 a page to start monthly.
Yeah.
At state level. Probably half that at city level, depending on the city.
And what's the average price of these guest posts that you're getting?
Anywhere between 10. Well, they're more like edits. Is where we're, because at scale, things get messed up at scale and get very messy. So we're looking for edits at scale. Tens of thousands of backlinks or referring domains. So with that being said, anywhere between $4 to $20, somewhere in that range. 3 sometimes, depends. Somewhere in that range, because we want to get a lot, kind of a lot. It depends. I only have 2 projects or 2 clients that have big national campaigns. One's a lawyer type, and then the other one's in the real estate space.
Both competitive markets at that.
Oh, very painful at times. Very, very painful. But it's not cheap. When you have 38,000 pages and we're talking 450, think about that. At state level. Oh, jeez.
The only other thing I would add for Sol as well, Chris Palmer is probably the wrong guy to ask in terms of how many guest posts and the average price, purely because he is the tightest man in the SEO world. And he gets stuff and sells it very, very cheap. I think, unless you're going to buy from Chris, which you're more than welcome to do so, I think your cost will be a bit chunkier than what Chris has just suggested. He's given you his perceived price. Now, I've said a million times on here, Chris is too cheap anyway. His prices should go up. But if you're buying from anyone else in the world, what he's saying is $580 is potentially going to be double that. So just bear that in mind as well. I just throwing that out there. And don't like to give people any kind of false, you know what you're buying, Chris, your experience, the root vendors and all that shit. So I don't think it's fair your pricing's in your own head, and obviously it would cost Sol, for example, if he was going to some other random provider.
Yeah, I know guys with huge networks. Yeah. I'm getting stuff very, very inexpensively in order to pass it on. But my determination of quality is way different than the average Joe that's coming in off the street. Like to buy in the store, I'm like, yeah, but that's got 500 referring domains and it's category specific. They're like, yeah, but it doesn't have a favicon. I'm like, what? You don't even know what you're looking at. But yeah.
But I think as well, Chris, you make a very valid point where if you don't want to spend as much money, because as you say, you're the tightest man in SEO, using edits is a good way to get more bang for your buck. That's up to you, the website owner. But I just want to emphasize that point as well. I want the best value for that. I want to get it as cheap as possible. So
I just started offering those. I got a very good root vendor for that. Thank God. It takes a minute, you know. I think a 3-week turnaround time is quite a long time, but the price is fair.
Dude, it's not even about the 3 weeks. That person, the vendor's busy. You know, they're going to get round to your order. So does it actually take 3 weeks, or does it just take 3 weeks on average because they're fucking hundreds of orders?
There's a million dudes in line. Get in line, Palmer. Yeah.
First come, first serve. If you want these fucking rates, if you want special fucking, someone on the ball quickly, that's where your price goes through the roof. So
that's exactly.
Sometimes you have to suck it up.
Oh yeah, we do. Because it feels good to go and get 4,000 links for a good price.
So hopefully that gives you some idea or so. Live F1 fan, any new YouTube tips and tricks, Chris?
I don't focus my attention on YouTube. Other than information, I create information.
Here's something I want to bring up as well. So listen, I actually agree with the person that said what I'm about to say. So I saw Diggity saying that creating one YouTube video a week is exhausting, because he's obviously got to come up with a script and do the video, record it, blah 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 blah. Chris, how do you do one a day? Because I do find YouTube videos at scale fucking exhausting as well. But I
get somebody, either a client or a consulting call or a question, sparks an idea, and I make a video. Because if it helps them, it'll help someone else. That's it. One question is one video. Just turn it on, flick on the light, bada bing, bada boom. I don't worry about all that. You know what I mean? Like if I stutter, something's wrong, or the lights are up, who cares? You want this information? You want it for free? Come get it.
So how many are you shitting out on a weekly basis? Is it 3, 4, 5?
Oh, I'm back up to every day. So it'll be 5 a week. Because on the weekends it's little Chris days.
Yeah.
So I just shut everything off on the weekend. Like everything. Phone's off, throw it in the freaking drawer. Don't bother me on the weekend.
Yeah. That's quite right, dude. Quite right. I think that's a good way to do it. Get the old weekend for family time. So, yeah. Ramakant, does SEO work on a single page application?
Absolutely. Yes. Yes, but there's also a blog attached. So they have an application. I work with I shouldn't say, but they have an application, but they also have a blog as well. So does it work? I guess in your case, if it's only just the app, then it's going to be tough, depending on what you're doing. But then again, that HTML editor or whatever it's called, that's just a one page. They don't have anything else. And that thing's getting 260,000 visits a month. It's like an HTML converter or something. I forget exactly what it does, but I saw it for sale and I was looking at the traffic. I'm like, wow, 1 page? Jeez, this is sweet. So could it, but I know this guy, he has an app. He has a blog attached to it, and the blog pushes traffic to the application.
Yep. Nice one.
Very good.
Holly is talking about AI and deep fakes at digitalunfiltered.com. Just another plug there. How many articles needed to cover the topical map for a niche website? Again, honey, that is a loaded question. Depends on the niche and how much of it you're prepared to cover.
Sorry. How deep do you go, Craig, on this? Let's just use that terminology, a topical map. Because at some point, what's the word linguistically? Linguistically, everything's connected.
Yeah.
So how deep do you go? Because I've seen sites where it's just getting way off topic. Like, you know?
So here's the way that I think about this, Chris. 20% of anyone's pages bring in 80% of the revenue. So is there any point in going deep and deep and deep and deep? Now, if there's money, dig as deep as you fucking want. Keep digging and add as much as you need to. However, people scratch the surface and still 20% of their pages bring in 80% of the traffic. So how far do you need to go? How crazy do you need to go in this stuff? I can't answer specifically. I'll go where I need to go. I follow the money. And, you know, if I need to go a little bit deeper in certain projects, then happy fucking days. However, I think a lot of it, you know, doing content for content's sake, or to be able to turn around to your friends and say, I've got a content writer who writes 100 articles a month, or whatever your way of thinking is the wrong approach. You know, I want to optimize, continually optimize, tweak, fine-tune pages that make me money, rather than, you know, going, you know, building a bigger topical map just so that I can post a screenshot on Facebook going, look at this topical map, guys. Who gives a fuck if it doesn't make money? So that's my thoughts on it. So sorry for the rant, but there you go. But do you agree, Chris, or do you go deep? What's your thoughts?
I follow the dollar. Yeah, as long as I'm still able to. I usually am answering who, what, when, why, where, how. Primary page. Job done. I just move on. That's it. That's as deep as I'm going to go. Answer all the questions, hit the target key phrases, and then move on. That's it. Because even though you start cranking out those articles, what's the probability of those actually getting traffic? Very, very low. And so to answer the question, no, I don't go deep. No.
I think it was Ted Kibitis. It might be wrong, but I'm going to say it. Go broad before you go deep. Is his advice. So take from that what you will. But next question from Chris Boland. How important is topical authority? Should you build some content just for its own sake? It doesn't get traffic or have links just for topical coverage. So I see a lot of people arguing this, Chris, because I always say to people, pull down pages that don't get traffic, don't have links, don't offer any value to the internet. And other people have been going, but, you know, what about the old topical coverage and all this kind of stuff? So what's your take on it?
So here's what often happens, that we're going to build out content that has zero inside of like SEMrush or whatnot traffic. If we put up a page ranks for hundreds of keywords. If we're going inside a search console and we're noticing that I'm getting a boatload of impressions for a specific keyword and it's semi-related to a page that we have, we'll make that a supporting piece of content. and we'll build it out. It says 0 traffic. I'm getting all these impressions. We'll crank out a 1,200 word article, put it up, and see if it goes. So am I going to go out there and seek out zeros to hit a topical map? Nah. But if Google's showing me impressions and it thinks that I'm about that, it's an easy slam dunk for us. Like, okay, here's our content. Here's our content plan for this month. It's right here. It's so easy. That's what I do.
Yeah, I think for what it's worth, I think, see what Google's rewarding you for. And if it's impressions, can you turn the screw at that point? So,
yep. Make it supporting, aim it right at that page. Boink. And then eradicate any instance of that key phrase from that original page. That's what I do. Easy. Come up with the content plan, get the approval. Next.
Sam Harris, how do I push into the top 3 positions locally?
3 positions locally. We're talking about Map Pack. Is that what you mean, Sam? Or are we talking about top 3 organic? I'm assuming local.
Yeah, locally it is.
So if it's Map Pack, I think it's pretty clear, but lately that Map Pack has been getting destroyed. And a lot of the SERPs that I'm in are moving it all the way down the page, and it's just so painful. But with that being said, as far as maps is concerned, once you're optimized and tuned, it's reviews that are going to be locationally charged. And then aside from that, it's going to be clicks and traffic from that general vicinity or proximity. And then if we're talking about organic, all the steps. Create the page, optimize your page. But at some point in your plan, we also need to start getting some type of traffic to that page as well. If you're going to pay for it, if you're going to manipulate it, you need clicks and traffic going to that page based on that keyword and those keyword variations or that keyword set, however you look at it. Don't just send for the same keyword over and over and over again. Like, the page ranks for more than one keyword. So what keywords does that top guy have? What's the list? That's what you send your traffic for. Hopefully that makes sense to you.
Makes sense. Have you guys tested Threads? Are you on there, Chris?
I don't know what that is.
It's Mark Zuckerberg's version of Twitter. But I have got it. I posted once on it, but yeah, it's not for me. I don't need another social media platform, to be honest. Just another one to open myself up to and get all caught up in it. So I'm trying to steer clear of it. Does domain authority really impact on ranking, Chris?
It's not the DA metric. It's the fact that you have an aged website that's getting traffic and you've built referring domains to it. And it just so happens when I have age and I get traffic and I build backlinks, my DA rises. There's no correlation between DA raising and me getting, having a better ranking website. It just happens that you're doing the right steps in order to achieve a higher DA. So it's not the DA itself. Hopefully that helps you.
I would agree. Chitan. £4 per post sounds a bit like spam. Where are you getting them from? That is the $1 million question or so. Where do you get them from, Chris?
Services.chrispalmermarketing.com is where I get them. And then as far as it being spam, what's that?
Give us the vendor. Give us the vendor's name.
It's not a website or anything like that. It's an email. It's a friendship. Like, hey, I need this for this. Okay, Chris. But as far as $4 a post, this is an edit on a page that already exists. Sometimes these pages are 10 years old, 15 years old. The only criteria is that the page is getting traffic and that the page is category specific to what I'm trying to rank. And that's $4 a unit, and that's worth it. That's a good deal. I see guys charging 20, 30, 40 bucks a pop for that. That's a fair price. Fair. If I slap 40 on it, is it not, now it's not spammy? Okay, it's 40 bucks then. How many you want?
Yeah. You need to be careful of not always judging that. You know, I think some of the higher price stuff is the same as the lower price stuff. You've just got 3 middlemen in there.
$1,000,000%.
But do whatever's comfortable for yourself and that stuff. So there's a guy called Mark Lawrence.
That name rings a bell.
My girlfriend has threatened to split up with me if I travel to Vegas to attend your SEO event. What should I do? Any relationship advice? So, Chris, when you're traveling to these events, obviously you have little Chris there. Do you get any grief from the other half for going away and or anything like that? Or does she? Because my wife's happy. My wife happily packs my bags and begs. I think she's doing the outreach, dude. Can you please take this motherfucker away? But how does your wife take it?
No, it's more of an internal fight for myself being away from Chris than it is her. Like, she understands it's business. It's just me. Like, I feel like I'm like, damn, I gotta go, but it's just business. So
I have that when I leave little Charlie. It's horrible. And,
that's right. Yeah.
I'm away for 2 weeks when I go to Estonia, then straight to Vegas. So I'm away from him for 2 weeks. I did promise myself I would never go away for that long again. And then somehow we have fucking Vegas and Estonia back to back. But it's horrible. There's nothing worse than FaceTiming your little guy back home and stuff like that. And I miss his first day at school as well, which is a bit of a sickener. But business is business, so I've got to do what I've got to do. That's all I can see, Laurie. What should I do? Get her told. Darren Muzzy says, buy her something expensive, which is an alternative. But
fair.
I am also sure that Slorry's making more of this than meets the eye, because I'm pretty sure when I was with them both the other night, she was like, go if you want. But
yeah. And we do have half price bring your partner tickets. Bring her with you.
But the problem for Slorry is his other half is a school teacher, and our schools start on the 15th or the 16th or whatever it is, so she won't be able to come no matter what. So that is unfortunate, but Slorry, I think it'll be a top class event. Vegas is good, as you know, because you've been. I would be doing whatever keeps her happy to make sure you can get to this trip. I would be going down the Darren Muzzy route of buy her something special. Dude, there's guys I know that are always in those expensive shops buying a bag or something to soften the blow when they go home. So, yeah, that's all I'm going to say, though, because I couldn't say wrong for doing right. So, yeah.
That's it. Buy her something expensive. I think Darren might even be able to help you out with a ring or something, you know?
Nestor Vasquez is going to be there. Fruitbat Cat, I am going. Mark Lawrence is not. Well, he's debating whether he can or not. But Slorry, I would 100% advise that meeting all these crazy Americans. I've not yet met Darren Muzzy, but I've met up with a lot of other fellow Americans and Mexicans like Nestor and a whole bunch of other Canadians and whatever else is kicking around over there. And yeah, they're all...
Dude, we got open bar for 3 days. Like, come on, man. Come through.
I'll tell you something else as well. Out of all the events I've ever been to, 9 out of 10, they're all plain sailing, never any hassle. The only time I've ever had hassle is at the UK ones. Never in my life have I had a spot of bother at any of the American ones. Chilled out, great bunch, great weather, great everything. So can't beat Vegas, Laurie. That's all I'm going to say. Can you imagine a night out with Palmer, Muzzy
in Vegas?
Fuck yeah. Dude, money can't buy that fucking experience.
Bring your backpack, Mark.
So get your ass along, dude. Would be my advice. Darren Muzzy says it's going to be fun. If you do want to join us, anyone else out there, it's not just an invite to Mark Slawrence. There are still tickets available. Digitalunfiltered.com. We have an amazing, I think, 19 speakers listed, talking about a wide range of different things. So it should be a really good event based on the lineup, the topics, and the location. And it's going to be the Hangover all over again. Maeve saying she needs to become someone's other half, so I get a half-price ticket. Maeve, you don't even show up anyway. Maeve was supposed to come to another event and she didn't show. She sent a friend along. Jose, can you bring 2 spouses?
Yes.
Dude, if you've got 2 legit spouses,
bring them in.
I will fucking promise you that you buy that one ticket with a spouse thing on it, and I'll get you the other half, the other spouse in for free. As long as you can provide documentation that is your real 2 spouses. I think that should be the law, Chris.
That's
if you've
fair.
got 2 spouses, you should be allowed to get
bring them
one.
in. Definitely.
But guys, also check out 38 Digital Market. The link is below. Mr. Randy Rodet and his press release service. He will be in Vegas as well. And Stephanie said she will wife sit for me. Dude, I'm not sure I would trust Stephanie with your wife. I'm only kidding. Stephanie's a great person. A quick Vegas wedding then. We just need to find someone single, Maeve, that's not married. Chris, are you married?
No.
No.
Nope.
That's the man you need to bribe. Maeve. I'm sure there's a few others as well, but don't want to spread rumours or anything. 2 spouses is that wife spam.
Wife spam.
Funny. On that note, I will let you guys crack on with the rest of your day because we are out of time, but we do appreciate all the questions. And as I say, grab your ticket for digitalunfiltered.com. You can also book this. Is the discounted hotel rooms finished now, Chris?
Yeah, that's over.
That's over. You were too late if you didn't get your hotel room. You're going to have to pay full price. But grab your tickets. There's still tickets available. And we will see you same time next week, everyone.
Yep. See you next week.
Cheers.
Yep. Bye-bye.